After 7 years of marriage, Leo finally filed for divorce for a little canary. He said, "Ava, she is different from other girls. She followed me innocently." I nodded silently. I suppressed my excitement, fearing that it would be seen. God knows. If he doesn't file for divorce again, I will soon be unable to hold it back. Last night, the irritable prince used 800 postures to force me to make him his regular wife. Now my whole body is still shaking uncontrollably. When I took the divorce agreement from Leo, my whole body was shaking. "Ava, do you think I'm sorry for you?" Leo saw that I couldn't stop shaking, and said helplessly, "The little girl followed me innocently, I have to give her a name." "Understood." I nodded. My body still couldn't control and kept shaking. Especially my legs, they were shaking like a sieve. But I didn't know it at all, and I was looking at the content of the divorce agreement very seriously. Leo and I have been married for 7 years. We have been childhood sweethearts since we were young. Confirmed our relationship in high school, and got married as soon as we graduated from college. At the wedding, Leo cried like a dog, saying that he was lucky to marry me, but in the 3rd year after marriage, he had someone else outside. When I found out the first time, he was panicked and knelt down to beg me for forgiveness. I forgave him. So there was the 2nd time, the 3rd time, and the nth time, but he said that no matter how he played outside, his wife would always be me. But this time, he finally asked for a divorce from me for a little canary. I have seen that little girl. She likes to call Leo in the middle of the night the most. And she cries when she calls. Leo's heart is broken by her crying. In order to comfort the little girl, Leo is away from home more and more. He came back suddenly today and scared me. It would be so embarrassing if we met. I started having someone outside a year ago. Leo doesn't know. It's not that I concealed it on purpose, but he hasn't paid attention to me for a long time. Or, he doesn't think from the bottom of his heart that I will betray him. I heard him talking to a friend on the phone. "Ava, she can't leave me. No matter what I do outside, she will still wait for me at home." At that moment, I suddenly began to reflect on myself. Why can he do it? I can't. Why can he say that sentence as a matter of course, it's normal for men to have affairs outside? But I can't. After a painful reflection. So, I bravely stepped out of the shackles of marriage. The first person to cheat was Ryan, the prince of Ryan's family. That night he was fighting in the bar, and I was watching the excitement. As a bystander, I just commented, "Young people are really hot-tempered." In the end, he caught me, "Auntie, I am even hotter in bed, do you want to try it?" I looked at his scarred face that could not hide his handsomeness, as well as the looming developed chest muscles and round and firm buttocks, boldly tried it for one night. As a result, this try can't be used anymore. Ryan's clinging skills are even better than Leo's little canary.At first, he just pestered me in bed. Gradually he started to push his luck. He insisted that I give him a legitimate status. Just like last night, the prince seemed to have taken the wrong medicine in the middle of the night, and suddenly rushed to my house to force me to make him a regular employee. I didn't give in, and he tormented me all night. If he hadn't had to go on a business trip early this morning, he would have bumped into Leo. Leo's phone kept ringing. His little canary couldn't help but make several calls. The sound was a little loud, and I heard it. She was crying on the other end. "Why does it take so long to get a divorce? Does the other party disagree? You promised me that you would divorce her even if you had to leave the house with nothing. Are you lying to me?" Hearing the words "leave the house with nothing," her eyes lit up. Leo whispered to her, "It's almost time, you wait for me at home, eat duck neck. 1 hour, at most 1 hour, you must come back." "Okay." Leo hung up the phone. "Ava. No problem, actually the divorce agreement is not a big problem. Leo gave me half of the property, and it can be seen that he is very sincere. I could have accepted it. But when I think of my current status and the humiliation and convenience for so many years, I will not take advantage of the official." So at that moment, I pretended to be uncomfortable and said, "Leo, the Leo family group almost went bankrupt because of unkindness. It was me who accompanied you to social events and drank until my stomach bled, and then I got sponsorship and talked about financing. Ava, that's all in the past. If the feelings are gone, they are gone. You can't keep my body and my heart. Why bother?" Leo persuaded me. I think Leo family group should have a share for me. I said frankly. Leo was stunned for a moment. Probably didn't expect that I wanted Leo family group, not him. I want 50% of the original shares of Leo family group in your hands, not the converted capital. What do you want the shares for? Leo was surprised and nostalgic. I said lightly. Leo hesitated. For him, shares are naturally more important. He wants absolute control of the group. If he gives me 50%, he will not be the largest shareholder. Okay. Leo agreed immediately. I think that even if I have shares, I want the cash discount. I continued to ask, "Ava, don't push it." "Leo, obviously I only have money. I looked at Leo and you. I have a great love. Leo looked at my bloodshot eyes and trembling body, and said with pain, okay, I'll give it to you. But Ava, don't bother me later. It's a deal. 04 Let the lawyer go quickly. I took his car to the Civil Affairs Bureau. The moment I opened the door of the co-pilot seat, I saw several stickers on it. Obviously, they were not posted by me. Leo also noticed it and explained, one, the little girl likes to make trouble. It doesn't matter, I'll sit in the back seat. It was quiet all the way. Leo suddenly asked me, why don't you talk? I'm reading the WeChat message Ryan sent me. He just got off the plane and is bombarding me with messages. Landed safely. I miss you. Do you miss me? Every second away from you is torture. Can you turn it over for me when I come back? What's so good about Leo, that rotten cucumber? He's not as handsome as me, not as rich as me, and I have good physical strength. Ava. Leo's voice is a little loud and I frowned. What's wrong? Who are you chatting with? Can't you hear me talking? Is there something wrong? I was surprised. It's not so unkind to say that after the divorce, if you have any difficulties, you can come. Leo repeated impatiently. Okay. I nodded and agreed. I fell into silence again. Leo couldn't help but say again, don't you have anything to say to me? Then I wish you and her a long and lasting relationship. I said. There's no need to pretend in front of me. Leo is generous. No pretending. A son and a dog, forever and ever. Leo suddenly said kindly, Ava, you should go out more often. Your life is too narrow. Haven't you noticed that you don't have many friends? How about you, after marrying me, can you find another family? I'm worried that you will be alone and no one will take care of you. I've been alone for so many years, haven't I? I sarcastically said that Leo naturally understood my sarcasm. After a pause, I have a lot of friends, it's okay. I agreed generously. Leo was a little stunned, and then said, okay, I'll be fine later. After arriving at the Civil Affairs Bureau, we quickly registered for divorce. When I left, Leo wanted to send me off, but he couldn't resist his little canary. I looked up at the blue sky above my head. The feeling, more than 20 years of love, really disappeared in this film. I didn't tell Ryan that Leo and I had registered for divorce. I can't say why. It may also be that I never thought of giving Ryan a name. Let's have fun. I won't repeat the same mistake. But Leo's little canary seemed to be impatient. On the 5th day after we registered for divorce, she posted a circle of friends to declare her sovereignty. When we added WeChat friends, it was Canary who took the initiative. At first, it was. But she couldn't resist her persistence, and entered. His copy is, choose a journey to live forever, meet someone to grow old together. The photo below is her and Leo's hand in hand. It happened to be that day. It was the birthday of a friend of mine and Leo, and we all went. Leo brought the little canary with him. Before I came, I heard a group of people joking in the private room, when are you two? By the way, Ava really agreed to divorce? I remember that she seemed to love you and only revolve around you. How do you convince Ava not to pester you? Teach me, buddy. Leo hasn't spoken yet. I answered openly, the property is evenly distributed. The crowd was a little embarrassed when I showed up. My friend hurriedly tried to smooth things over, and I was at ease. Little Canary looked at me frequently. Her eyes were full of provocation. Finally, she couldn't help it anymore, and she took the initiative to stand up. Sister Ava, Leo suffered a lot in order to divorce you. I don't care about that. I just hope you don't pester Leo anymore in the future. I'll drink first as a toast. After saying that, she drank the glass of wine in her hand. I ignored her. Little Canary was a little unhappy. Sister Ava, you and Leo are divorced. Could it be that you and he still have ideas? That's it. Leo greeted Canary, let's talk about these things in private. No, I want her to promise in front of everyone that she will never bother me again. Canary said coquettishly, I just want you to belong to me completely. The voice was soft and soft. Leo really liked this. I glanced at Leo. I had forgotten it, but suddenly I remembered that he once knelt on the ground drunk and said that he wanted to. This situation was really torn. I smiled lightly, don't worry, I don't collect garbage. Leo's face, which was still smiling, suddenly turned cold. Canary's face was not much better. I continued, I'll correct you. I deserve it. In addition, half of the money Leo spent on you is mine. I didn't ask you to pay it back. It was a kindness to you. You should be grateful, not to push it. You. Canary blushed. Leo defended his shortcomings. Ava, even if you are unwilling to divorce me, there is no need to embarrass my sister-in-law. No unwillingness. I spoke word by word. Don't be so stubborn, I know you can't accept that I don't love you anymore. The door was suddenly pushed open. 06 I was a little surprised to see Ryan at this moment. Didn't you say that this business trip would take about 1 day, 2 days? The host was very enthusiastic. I am really flattered that you, Mr. Ryan, have come. Sit here. He was about to let Ryan sit in the main seat. Everyone also showed respect to Ryan. In this circle, Ryan is considered a rich second generation who is one level higher than them. Naturally, he has to please him. You're welcome. I'll just sit here. Ryan walked straight to my side. I didn't dare to look at him straight in the eye. I was afraid that he would do something out of line. Okay. The host quickly asked the waiter to add a seat. I unconsciously moved to the side. But Ryan grabbed the chair. I looked back at him. Seeing him smiling with a smug look on his face. Even the next moment, his unruly foot had already stretched between my legs. I was so nervous that I squeezed my legs together. This not only failed to make Ryan leave me, but pushed him closer. Mr. Ryan, I'll toast you a glass. Leo suddenly came over. My heartbeat accelerated. I felt like I was caught cheating. Look. Even after a year, I still can't accept this kind of thing calmly. But Leo can. It's already the cool-off period for divorce. I gradually relaxed. Ryan glanced at Leo and said, I don't drink. I was abrupt. Leo was not embarrassed, and said calmly, then Mr. Ryan, just drink water. I drink. After sitting on the plane for a day, I just want to eat something quietly now. Ryan didn't give Leo any face at all. No matter how thick-skinned Leo was, he was a little embarrassed. He smiled tremblingly and said, I'm sorry to disturb Mr. Ryan's meal. I'll punish myself with a glass. Mr. Ryan, please enjoy. Leo left. Others also wanted to toast, but because of Ryan's attitude, they all chose to wait and see. Seeing that the atmosphere was a bit wrong, the host immediately took the initiative to be active. Everyone was no longer restrained and drank with each other. The party returned to normal. Canary couldn't hold back again. Sister Ava, I just drank with you, and you haven't given me a proper answer. I was a little speechless. It was tiring enough to deal with Ryan. While Ryan was here, let him help us to be a witness. Canary was determined, as if she would never give up if I didn't give her an explanation. What witness? Ryan was very interested. The feet under the table were not honest at all. Seeing Ryan pay attention to her, Canary became more excited. She hurriedly said, as everyone knows, Leo has registered for divorce with Ava. In order to part ways amicably, Leo gave most of his property to Ava, but Ava still pestered Leo. I saw Ryan's face getting worse and worse. Canary became more and more excited as she spoke. Today, so many friends are here, and Mr. Ryan is here too. I just want Ava to promise me that she will never bother Leo again. After all, we have already paid the price we should pay, and she can't be so shameless. I really laughed. How did she say the word shameless so shamelessly? I was about to speak. Ryan took the lead. If I remember correctly, you seem to be the mistress? Canary was stunned for a moment, blushing and said, Ava and Leo have divorced, and I am now Leo's legitimate fiancé, and Leo has proposed to me. As she said that, she raised the ring on her hand. Not to mention that they have only registered for divorce and have not really obtained the divorce certificate. Even if they are divorced, you are seducing a married man during their marriage. Ryan sarcastically said, What, you are a mistress and feel superior? The one who is not loved is the mistress. Canary said righteously. Leo and I are truly in love. Leo has long stopped loving Ava. She is the mistress in our relationship. 9 years of compulsory education, you were missed? Ryan sneered. Did no one teach you how to write the word shame? You are a good person, but you have to be a dog that eats shit. Not only are you cheap, but you are also shameless. She is the wife who is married in a formal way, and you are just a chicken who is cheating on her. The key is that you don't know how to be a chicken. I was stunned by what I heard. That is to say, is there a possibility that you scolded yourself too? Canary's eyes were red from being scolded, and she said in a crying voice, how can you say that to me? Being a mistress requires self-cultivation. Ryan ignored Canary and spoke crazily. You have to listen when someone scolds you. You have to endure when someone is tearing you apart in public. You have to keep your head down before the law. Look at you now. Not only do you fail to manage your shameful identity, but you also want to be a clown in broad daylight? Didn't you take the initiative to take off your clothes? Oh, I almost forgot that the mistress is best at taking off clothes. The last sentence, is it about you? When this person gets ruthless, he really scolds himself. I was stunned. Canary was scolded and cried directly. Leo's face turned green, but he suppressed his anger for Ryan's face. Seeing that Leo didn't help her, Canary cried even more. Leo, they all bullied me and I don't want to live. I just love you. What did I do wrong to be humiliated like this? Didn't she take the initiative to ask me to witness it? Ryan said as a matter of course. I just said a fair word, and you guys broke your defense. How can you still be so embarrassed? Besides, who said this is just your family matter? I suddenly screamed. Everyone looked at me in surprise. I accidentally bit my tongue. I made up an excuse. Of course, it was to stop Ryan from talking nonsense. I'm going to the bathroom. I got up and left. I expected Ryan to follow me. I walked out of the room and just entered the bathroom. Before I could lock the door, Ryan was pressed against the wall by him the next moment, unable to move. Open your mouth and let me see. Ryan lowered his body, and his hot breath hit my face. I could feel his obvious restlessness through my clothes. I shook my head violently. Be good, don't force me to use indecent methods. On the lips. What are you going to do? My body trembled. I thought he would kiss me forcefully. Unexpectedly, he pulled my hand and put it into his clothes. Xu never forced me, but he would make me obey. It was only this year that I really realized that Leo's happiness is more fragrant than domestic flowers. Why didn't you tell me that you and Leo registered for divorce? Is this why you came back so many days in advance? Are you planning to give me a surprise? Ryan's eyes lit up without even listening. That's not the case. I just don't want to take responsibility. Why did you stop me from talking just now? Ryan obviously knew that it wasn't you who said that. A mistress should have self-cultivation. I have some status, which is a bit shameful. When will you make me a regular employee? Yeah, it's very ecstatic. So I couldn't help it, I took the initiative to hook Ryan's neck and kissed him. Ryan couldn't stand me like this, and immediately threw the matter of just being a regular employee to the side. Of course, in the end, we didn't really do anything in such a place. It's just that when I was leaving here, my mouth was bitten by Ryan and I accidentally bumped into Leo in the corridor outside. It seemed like he was waiting for me on purpose. Ava, have you had enough? Leo asked me coldly. I laughed angrily. Leo, have you figured out who is here tonight? Why do you have to argue with a little girl? How old is she and how old are you? As for asking me. Not really. I nodded. Then you go and apologize to Cherry. I muttered and added, why would I bother with a chicken? Say. Ava, you've gone too far. Leo's face suddenly changed. You're only going to make me hate you more and more. Does it matter whether you hate me or not? I got divorced for no apparent reason, so it's irrelevant. Will I still try to balance the other person's feelings? I can promise you that we will not leave home even if we get divorced. I was stunned and couldn't believe what I heard. Leo could actually say such a shameless thing. No wonder the old people often say that people from the same family don't enter the same door. Leo and Cherry are really a perfect match. You don't have to be too happy. What I give to Cherry in the future will not be without you. Even if I have no feelings for you, I will be responsible for you to the end. Leo said righteously. I couldn't say a word for a long time. For the first time, I realized that I didn't seem to know Leo at all after knowing him for more than 20 years. Leo, what do you think? I don't want to be a good wife, but to be a mistress? How cheap am I? I asked him with a smile. I tried to keep my voice calm. I must give Cherry a name, you can only bear it. Leo was firm. Why should I bear it? Ava, quit while you are ahead. To be precise, why do I have to revolve around you, Leo? If I can't be your wife, I will be your mistress? Are you RMB? I must have you? Or are all the men in the world dead? I am in the attitude of parting ways in peace, at most for the sake of property. I don't want to make things too ugly with Leo. But some people really have no sense of propriety. Leo was so angry that his face turned red. Ava, you'd better not regret what you said today. No regrets. I didn't hesitate at all, and reminded, don't forget, 25 days later, we will go to the Civil Affairs Bureau to get a divorce certificate. I will never forget it, just don't try to be fancy. Leo gritted his teeth. Okay. I left after saying a word. I just took 2 steps and saw Cherry coming to Leo in a panic. The moment she saw me, she was completely blown up. Ava, you are alone with Leo? What did you do? Why is your mouth broken? Did Leo bite it? I pursed my lips and remembered that Ryan had just bitten my lips. I was a little angry, it was obviously intentional. I was afraid that others would not know that I had someone else outside. I said angrily, a dog bit it. You called Leo a dog? Cherry was almost fainted. Leo hurriedly explained, it's not me, I didn't touch Ava, she bit her lips to deliberately frame me. For so many years, I've been fed up with her. Then he yelled at me, Ava, you just spoke so toughly, and now you come to alienate the relationship between me and Cherry. Don't you think your behavior is dirty? I really couldn't control the power of the wilderness in my heart, and I was about to get angry. Ryan swaggered out of the bathroom. Leo, how can you be so shameless? You are the only dog in the world? Ryan walked in front of me, lifted my chin, and bit my lips in front of Leo and Cherry. At this moment, my heart finally died, after the deep kiss. Leo and Cherry were stunned. Ryan hugged me in his arms. Look carefully, I bit it. You dog, you are quite proud. I saw Leo's eyes change from shock to disbelief to anger too. Leo said, Ava, is it true? If you don't see it with your own eyes, isn't it clear? Now, I can only admit it, when Ryan heard what I said, the corners of his mouth couldn't help but rise. Ava, you. Leo swallowed the words that were on the tip of his tongue. I didn't need to explain too much to him. He was an experienced person and could understand. I dragged Ryan away. When I left, I suddenly turned back and looked at Cherry. Cherry felt my gaze and immediately straightened her body. At that moment, I inexplicably felt a little guilty. What are you looking at me for? Cherry said angrily when she saw that I didn't say anything. I said with a smile, after all, they are all things I'm tired of playing with, and you're just beginning to be fascinated by them. Then, I pulled Ryan away without looking back. I only heard Cherry's sharp cry behind me. Leo, you must make the decision for me, you have to help me get rid of this bad breath. Innocent? How ironic. Ryan and I didn't go back to the birthday party, and got in the car and left directly. I know Ryan is also helping me out, and since we've done it, there's nothing to deny. Can I pay with my body? He asked me pitifully. My current state. It's obvious that I'm really not blaming him. I'm thinking, how could I not be responsible for him? I turned around and saw his handsome face up close. Then I looked down and saw that he had his shirt buttons all unbuttoned and his breasts exposed. The words of rejection were on my lips, but I couldn't say them. It would really affect the speed of my sword drawing. I was finally bewitched by him. The next day, when I returned home with backache, Leo was actually there. The man who hadn't come back once in 800 years was now sitting in the living room. Where did you go last night? Leo asked me. Deputy, the posture of asking for accusations. I ignored him and went straight to the bedroom. Ava, even if you use this method, it's impossible for me to change my mind. Leo reminded coldly. So until now, Leo still thought that I couldn't let him go. I paused and chuckled. Then why did you come back today? Leo said righteously, we have to be husband and wife, and I don't want you to be so unlucky. People like you who have never seen the world are too easy to be deceived by men. I know what men are like. Ryan and you are just playing around, and there will be no result between you. I looked straight at Leo. Didn't you and Cherry end up well? Can you compare with Cherry? Leo was very excited. Cherry is young and beautiful, clean in mind and body. But what about you? You are almost 30 years old, and you are still married. Which man would want a second-hand product, let alone the prince of Ryan's family, who is even 5 years younger than you? Aren't you asking for trouble? So in your opinion, no man will want me anymore, but you still want to divorce me, ruining my life. I sneered. We can divorce but not leave home. Although we are no longer husband and wife, I can take care of you for the rest of your life. As long as you don't indulge in depravity like this. Leo seemed very generous. This time, I will not answer your past affairs with Ryan, and I will not repeat them next time. I was really disgusted. I said, Leo, why do you let bygones be bygones? You and Cherry, you are entangled with so many women like Cherry, what qualifications do you have to pursue me? I am a second-hand product? What about you, a slut? I am a man. It seems that the one who slipped through the net of the 9-year compulsory education is not only Cherry, but also you. You don't need to preach to me here, Ava, in the final analysis, this is how society is. Men and women are born, and society is equal to them. So what? But it is also for the purpose of marrying better. I have to admit it. At this moment, I was really speechless by Leo. Maybe it's because I feel offended by him if I say one more word to him now. I began to examine him. I also began to examine myself. Was it my eyes back then, or would a person really change like this? It's disgusting, Leo said. I won't say any more nonsense, Ava, wait until you are poisoned by society. Leo left. When he left, he reminded me again, don't forget the day to get the divorce certificate. I took a deep breath. I was almost pissed off by Leo. Where did he get the confidence? As a good thing. I finally recognized it. Soon, I will completely clear it up. Leo did not delay. We got the divorce certificate quickly. This means that 50% of the shares and discounted money under Leo's name have all entered my account. I finally breathed a sigh of relief. It's not that I'm afraid that Leo will not divorce me, I'm just worried that Leo will be reluctant to give me so much. And I don't want to waste time arguing with him anymore. Ava, have you thought it through? Leo suddenly asked me when he walked out of the Civil Affairs Bureau. What? I was puzzled. Divorce but not leaving home. I laughed. Leo said, the premise is that you can no longer be involved with other men outside. Leo, where do you get the confidence to think that after being treated like this by you, I can still follow you shamelessly as always? What is so worthy of my lingering thoughts about you? Just because you have a rotten cucumber in your crotch more than me? Speak with more respect. Leo was angry. Respect is mutual. Have you ever respected me? Besides, why should I speak nicely to a low-level, disgusting, dirty scumbag? Isn't this punishing myself? To be honest, I was really happy at this moment. After enduring for so long, I can finally vent my emotions without worries. Leo glared at me fiercely, and couldn't believe that I would scold him so bluntly. I said, Leo, what's the use of my higher education? After receiving higher education, I can help filter out low-level people like you from my life. I can also minimize my losses when I'm hurt. I can even make you understand that women are never men's appendages. You really haven't experienced the beatings of society, Leo sneered. Then, see you in the rivers and lakes. I left in a chic manner. I didn't care about the angry light behind me. I just felt that I had never felt so relaxed and happy, and this moment reached its peak, after the divorce. I took the same shares as Leo and joined the Leo family group. It's not difficult to join the Leo family. When the Leo family was in trouble, Leo and I had just been married for 2 years. I invested all the inheritance left to me by my parents to save the Leo family, and accompanied Leo to attract investment everywhere. The people in the Leo family group knew my ability. If I hadn't accompanied Leo step by step, the Leo family would have been gone long ago. After that crisis, Leo was appointed as the chairman by the board of directors and took over his father's position. At the same time, Leo returned the money I had invested in the Leo family twice. I retired successfully. Because Leo said, Ava, I don't want you to work too hard. I can support the family and you. Sure enough. A man can be trusted, and a sow can climb a tree. But it's okay, every failure is a lesson. Leo naturally couldn't agree to my joining the Leo family management. But because he is no longer the largest shareholder, he no longer has absolute say. In addition, Leo has spent a lot of time on women in the past 2 years, and his neglect of the group has caused dissatisfaction among many directors. Now he can even give up the group's shares for women, and the shareholders have no trust in him. Letting me join the group is, to some extent, a lesson given by the board of directors to Leo. And all of this is in my plan. Even Cherry would not let Leo come to work in the company because I am in the company, which is also within my expectation. Cherry's youth is her capital. The board of directors is increasingly dissatisfied with Leo's long absence from the company. My workability made the board of directors more and more trusting. Half a year passed like this. After I approved the last plan, I met Ryan, whom I hadn't seen for a long time, at the door of the office when I got off work in the evening. The secretary was a little timid, because he is the eldest son of the Ryan family group. We have cooperation with the Ryan family, so we dare not stop him, and Master Hua also doesn't let us disturb you. I nodded to show that I understood. I let Ryan into my office. I know that this day will come. I can't really get rid of him by sending him a WeChat message saying break up, blocking him, and then confessing our shameful relationship to his parents. Ryan may be in love, but he is not someone who is easily bullied. He is not called Prince for nothing. Do you miss me? Ryan asked me with red eyes. I dare not look him in the eye. I am afraid that if I do something wrong, he will strangle me to death. I just lowered my head and answered, if I say no, will you be angry? Yes. He said. Very honest. Sorry, am I just a tool for you to take revenge on your ex-husband? I shook my head and said seriously, a tool in bed. Ryan stared at me. I thought he should be furious. Then he turned his face and walked away. At most, he slapped me before leaving. But the next moment, I heard him say, why don't you continue to use it? I am very useful. You are very useful. But I am afraid of it. I couldn't help but feel a little guilty. I have seen how Ryan looks in front of other people, and he is really not this pitiful puppy. Ava, let's get married. Ryan suddenly proposed to me. I was shocked. What are you thinking? I've never thought about getting married again, but have you ever thought about whether your family would agree? They agreed. Question mark. I was dumbfounded. No, how could Ryan's family accept a woman who got married twice? When I went to see Ryan's parents, they didn't look at me in a good light. I know you no longer believe in marriage because of a scumbag, but I'm young. I will definitely die later than you. I can wait forever. Thank you for dying later than me. Ryan's eyes were firm. You say when to get married, and if you don't get married for the rest of your life. I will accompany you for the rest of your life. Brother, being in love can really make you unhappy. I was scared by Ryan and ran away. Ryan didn't chase me but just promised loudly behind me, Ava, in this life I belong to you. Back home, before I calmed down, I saw Leo again. Did I offend the Tai Sui today? Everything is unlucky, Ava. I want to talk to you. Leo looked at me with tired eyes. What to talk about? Can I come in? No, Leo sighed and said, I'm tired. You're tired, come to me? I sneered. Shouldn't you find your Cherry to give you a full body massage? You know what I'm talking about. Leo was serious. Of course I know. Leo and Cherry have not had a peaceful life in the past 6 months. It is said that the two have not really married. Cherry's possessiveness of Leo is almost abnormal. Even when Leo's secretary reports to Leo, she will be jealous and angry. She also checks Leo's mobile phone every day. She is afraid that Leo will fall in love with a woman. Even if Leo likes a woman's circle of friends, she will run to her and scold her for being a vixen and shameless. Leo was able to persuade patiently at first, but after a long time, Cherry's behavior really affected his normal life and he became impatient. Leo's impatience irritated Cherry's nerves. She suspected that Leo didn't love her anymore. She threatened to commit suicide at any time. There was really one time when Leo came home late because of social activities, and Cherry cut her wrists. Although he didn't die, he was really scared that he also successfully alarmed Cherry's family. Her family was also aggressive to Leo, saying that Cherry was a pure little girl who followed him who was divorced. If he dared to treat Cherry badly, they would not let him go. Leo was worried about Cherry's mischief every day, and was afraid that the Chin family would make trouble every day. He was in a state of neurasthenia every day. It would be strange if he wasn't tired, but isn't this all his own fault? Isn't he just in love with the vitality of young girls? Let's remarry. Leo took a deep breath and seemed to have made a great determination before speaking. So, today is a good day to get married. I will clean up the relationship between Cherry and me, and will not bring trouble to our marriage. Leo, you are really shameless. I interrupted him. Leo's eyes widened. He must have heard a rumor that you will be dismissed from your position at the board meeting tomorrow, right? I directly exposed his dirty tricks. Leo did not deny it and explained. It has nothing to do with this. I really want to start over with you. Do you think I will believe it? Although I divorced you, I never married Cherry, just to keep the relationship between us. Whether you believe it or not, after we divorced. I really found out that the person I liked was you all along. I don't believe it. I said frankly. I admit that I was wrong and confused when I divorced you. Cherry followed me innocently, and as a man, I should give her an explanation. Leo, I really don't want to listen to his nonsense. Who is not innocent? My first time, did I give it to a dog? Leo was speechless. Stop pretending. I don't even believe the punctuation marks of what you say now. I turned around and prepared to go home. Leo grabbed me and said, Ava, just think that I was wrong before. I actually regretted it from the moment of the divorce. I still can't figure out why I ended up with you like this. You think very clearly. I hit the nail on the head. You know too well how low the cost of your trial and error is. You think I can tolerate you having so many women outside, and I will also accept you getting remarried after the divorce. You believe that my parents died unexpectedly, and my world only has you, so you give me money and shares. Anyway, as long as you want, you can take it back at any time. And Cherry really gave you a different kind of happiness. You play with the little girl, and if you play well, you keep playing, and if you don't play well, you throw it away. But now you suddenly find that both sides seem to have lost your control. You start to panic and get scared, so you can't wait to get back to normal. But Leo, don't be so narcissistic. You are not so good that all the women in the world have to revolve around you. Leo wants to refute. I interrupted him again. Don't talk about women's chastity. New China has been established for 75 years. Patriarchy is just an excuse for self-righteous men to deceive themselves. But you are not with Ryan, right? Leo said loudly, I have inquired about it. It was you who took the initiative to find Ryan's family and broke off the relationship with Ryan. Does this mean that I can't forget you and I love you? I laughed speechlessly. Isn't it? Is there a possibility that I know that Ryan and I have no results, so I don't want to delay each other? After all, I fed my best youth to the dog. Can't I learn a lesson? Leo looked at me, speechless. I was not interested in him either. When I was about to leave again, a familiar voice came from behind. I knew that you dumped me on a cliff, not because you don't love me, but because you are afraid that my family will not agree. I turned and looked at Ryan. Why are you here? I missed you after you left, so I came to see you. Ryan said frankly, looking straight at me, don't you miss me? Everyone can understand how unclean the word miss is. Ryan didn't ask for my answer, he walked straight to me, and kissed me without even a second. I mean, can't you see such a big person next to you? Ryan kissed me for a long time, turned his head and looked at Leo. How long are you going to look? Don't you have any sense of propriety? If you look at the following scenes again, it will be against the law. Leo left with red eyes and gritted teeth. As soon as he left, Ryan couldn't hold back again. I rejected his intimacy. Ryan, I didn't agree to get back together with you. Ava, I think. Just now I said that because of your family reasons, it was just an excuse for me to reject the scumbag. In the past 6 months, I'm almost sick. Ryan pulled my hand into his trouser pocket. It needs your comfort. You didn't listen to a word I said. But I didn't hold it back for long. Who said I didn't endure hardship in the past 6 months? Through the unanimous decision of the board of directors, I got the absolute management rights of the Leo family group. By the way, all Leo family members were sidelined. The board of directors ended. Leo came to my office to find me. He said, Ava, give me another chance. You are wasting our time. Do you know how uncomfortable I was when I saw you and Ryan together last night? I don't know, and it has nothing to do with me. I didn't sleep all night. I looked at him, so I gave you a leave, so you can go back and have a good rest? Ava, I really regret it, and I know who I really love. Don't humiliate yourself. I said word by word. Leo pursed his lips. This is the leave note. I put it in front of him. You can fill in the form if you want to take a break, and then give it to the HR department. He looked at me with eyes like I looked at him back then. I even suspected him. Leo stumbled away. After that, Leo came to me again and again. I couldn't stand his pestering, so I passed the board of directors' decision that he could only receive pure dividends in the future. The security guards were not allowed to let him enter the gate of Leo's family group. Finally, everything was quiet. I heard that Leo was in prison. He killed Cherry with his own hands. We broke up. In the heated argument between the two, Leo finally couldn't bear it and ended Cherry's life. Before the execution, I went to the meeting. The Leo sitting in front of me was no longer as beautiful as he used to be. He was empty and looked like a walking corpse. I probably couldn't have imagined that playing with girls would cost him his whole life. He said, Ava, I don't regret killing Cherry. It wasn't her. So, she deserves to die. Leo, why are you still deceiving yourself? The culprit has always been you. If it wasn't for Cherry, I wouldn't divorce you. Divorce is a matter of time. If you don't mention it, I will. Why? Leo looked at me with red eyes. Ava, do you love me the most if you don't love me? Do you think it's appropriate to say love now? Leo's eyes were filled with tears. He looked at me and was silent for a long time. As if he had calmed down, he asked me, Ava, when did you start being with Ryan? No. I said bluntly. Since I miscarried the baby in my belly. We have a child together? Leo was surprised. When did you cheat for the first time? Why didn't you tell me? What do you think? But you forgave me, you clearly forgave me that time. Leo doesn't believe that time. I don't love him anymore. Because, I need to weigh the pros and cons. I can't lose both the man and the money, and let you get the advantage. Yes, you are lying to me. If you cheated on me for years, you must be lying to me, right? Leo can't accept it even if he dies. The colorful flags that he has been proud of for many years are flying straight, and the red flags at home have long collapsed into ruins. I told him calmly, Leo, I didn't divorce you at the beginning. It's very clear that even if I divorce you, I can't quickly get involved in another relationship. For me, not divorcing will not delay my life. Besides, if I divorced at that time, would you agree? You were just new to the outside world at that time, and you didn't have any feelings. Even if I made a fuss, you couldn't answer. I couldn't get the property I wanted. If I manipulate you, I will lose more than I gain. So, I took advantage of our marriage to collect evidence of your cheating, check the assets under your name, transfer my wealth, and even pave the way for my future. It was not until this year that I got everything done. By the way, why did I cheat last year? Because I am not the address. I need a long-term psychological construction to take this shameful step. You are just a physical need. I looked at Leo. Looking at his unconcealed pain, he said, so I won't mention it this year. In the divorce agreement at that time, you already knew that I was sincere about the property part. You added more to me. On the day of the divorce, your eyes were red and trembling. It was not because of not being. Leo's eyes moved. That was because Ryan had tossed me around all night. Juan, I was going to die. Why did you get excited, collapsed, and despair? You are not worth it. Tears kept falling down. Sure enough. Life is a closed loop. I left. I left cleanly. At the prison gate, Ryan was waiting for me. I only found out later that the reason Ryan's family agreed to my relationship with Ryan was because Ryan had stopped playing around since he was with me. He was only focused on making money to support his wife. Ryan's family treated me badly that time, not because they disliked my identity, but because they felt Ryan was not worth it. And the reason they agreed to send Ryan abroad was to play along with me. They had long wanted to send Ryan abroad for experience, but Ryan refused to go. So they took this opportunity to let Ryan go abroad to open up the European market. As long as he succeeded, they would agree to let Ryan and I be together. Poor Ryan, he was kept in the dark. He was still happy. I looked helplessly at the big bouquet of bright red roses in Ryan's hand. This guy was really hungry, and he didn't let go of proposing to me at the prison gate. What should I say? Otherwise, let's give it a try. At that time, I cheated with the attitude of giving it a try, and the experience was perfect. What if, the same thing happened when I got married? Anyway, I won't suffer any loss. Because marriage has never been a shackle for women, and women have never been an appendage of men. It is never too late for women to change the life they want to live.